Exist we can't believe. You told your story, they laughed it away, but the shadows remember the day, the night you saw what shouldn't be, and the truth followed you home silently. You're not crazy, you're not alone. Welcome to Cryptid Awakenings, where the truth comes crawling out of the dark. Stories whispered by survivors, left with memories and scars. If you've seen the eyes in the tree line, or heard something call your name, pull up a chair by the fire tonight. You survived the same. Dogman howls through the hollow hills. Something moves where the forest chills. Sasquatch steps where the moonlight dies, and something ancient still survives. You try to run, you try to hide. Some things walk just outside the edge of what we understand, and they still roam this land. Welcome to Cryptid Awakenings, where the truth comes crawling out of the dark. Stories whispered by survivors, left with memories and scars. Welcome to Cryptid Awakening. Survive. You saw something, didn't you?
Welcome, everybody, to a very well-needed episode of Cryptid Awakenings. I have been super swamped. I have been sick. I have been at graduations. I have been dealing with sick kids. So it has been a really hectic couple weeks for me. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy.
She's happy. Her
I'm happy.
hematoma's almost gone, guys. She's going to
Yes.
be trying coming down here again, and the LBL's facing some double trouble.
Mhm.
We always have a good time in there.
Mhm.
So tonight, guys, before I bring out our guest, and this is a good guest. We got a good guest tonight. I love his stories. I wanted to just announce that we have taken in another family in need, and we want to promote their GoFundMe and their Venmo tonight. So I want to share a little bit about this family and the little girl. This is Lily Beth. Lily Beth is from West Virginia. And she is suffering from, let me see if I can get this right because it's a tricky word. I have my Google pronunciation thing right here. Dysautonomia, I think it's what it's called. It is, I'm going to cry because I have been following the posts of this little girl. I know the family. Very personal. I'm very personal with this family. I grew up around them. I was friends with Lily Beth's mother and her aunt. I graduated with them both. Their mom was like a mom to me, and this is a really good family, and they need all the help that they can get for this little girl. She can't stand more than a few minutes without passing out, so she needs a wheelchair, and with being in a wheelchair, you need a wheelchair ramp, and they are needing help building a wheelchair ramp, along with help with travel expenses, lodging expenses, food expenses to get Lilybeth to her doctor's appointments. She travels pretty frequently during the week to Cincinnati, Huntington, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, and we'll be going to Philadelphia to meet with a medical team there as well. This is such a sweet girl. My son had the hugest crush on her in kindergarten, and her mom's name is CJ. CJ has done a very well job raising her, and CJ needs some help. So I wanted to share this about Lilybeth. I plan on making a post and putting it on the Monsters Unleashed page on Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, and our TikTok. And guys, I know times are hard, but if you could just do $1, that would help. If you could just share it, that would help. Let's get this out there and help this family, because they really need it right now. Lilybeth's grandmother just had a stroke, and she's coming home today, so that's an added stress on the mom as well. And I don't know, like I have a huge heart, and just following her story and just seeing the amount of stress that this family has on them, it breaks my heart. And I just want to see if we can help them out a little bit. I plan on donating. I plan on sharing this for however long it takes to kind of get them the help that they need. So if you can, please consider donating, or at least sharing it and getting it out there. I will have it posted on our social media by the end of the show. Let's see if we can help another family. We just got done helping Alicia Maxey and her family, and I heard God calling me again following these posts, and I want to try to help them as well. So
Yep.
it's a pretty sad thing. She's really going through it. The whole family's really going through it. And she has a sibling, and it's a lot on the mom. I can't even begin to imagine how she's feeling with everything. So CJ, if you're watching this, you have the whole Cryptid team here to help you, and we will do our best to help you in any way, whether it's talking so you can, or listening so you can vent or cry, whatever it needs, we got you. So I'll leave this up for a couple seconds so everybody can either screenshot it or read through it a little bit. She started experiencing joint pain at 2 years old, and they were told it's because her joints are slipping out of place. She then began passing out at 5, and no one could pinpoint why. So they just went on with their lives until last year, when her joints became severe and widespread, along with passing out episodes increasing in frequency. And then in August of 2025, she began experiencing widespread symptoms along with her syncope. She has very systemic symptoms daily that interfere with every organ in her body. This disorder she has, it is a connective tissue disorder with an adrenaline insufficiency and a multiple hormone insufficiencies, and it keeps progressing, and like I just can't even begin to imagine what the mom's going through, or the little girl, because it's hard being a mom and seeing your kids go through something like this. So guys, again, if you can help, please do. whether it's by donating or just sharing. Let's get this out there. Let's see if we could get them some help. It's so sad. Like it's affecting me a lot because I know this family and they don't deserve the amount of things that they have been going through. Because they're good people. They're really good people. Cassie, CJ, if you guys are watching, I love you both. I'm here for you both, and everything's gonna be okay. And we're gonna do our best to help. Tonight, guys, I'll share that again at the end of the show as well, or randomly throughout the show, just to pop it up there so everybody can see. But tonight, guys, we have Ohio Bigfoot researcher Tim Gayheart. I'm really excited for this. I met him on TikTok. He came in our TikTok live and shared some pretty amazing stories with us that has my mind blown. The one story that I'm hoping he shares tonight, I'm jealous. I wish I was there to see it because it was fascinating. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring him out. Hey Tim,
Good evening, everyone.
how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting by. I ain't been able to get out and research none in the past year, but hopefully I might be able to get out sometime this year, hopefully.
Hopefully, all them Bigfoot sightings up there, you got a bunch of groups rushing into Ohio to get them a sighting. Hopefully you get out there soon.
That's to the east of me. That's probably about an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours to the east of me.
What do you think is causing the surge in sightings in Ohio?
Well, the surge of them sightings was because they knew that meteor was coming, and then so happened it exploded before it hit the ground and stuff. So it was exploded in midair with pieces and stuff, and they knew it was coming. So they were leaving that area. That's what they was doing. They was leaving the area where the meteor was coming. The meteor come like I think it was 5 to 6 days after the last sighting.
Yeah.
Because there was like 9 sightings in 7 days, and everything was moving southeast, and the meteor hit between there and the lake.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts was on it. When Jen, me and her were talking about it a while back, and she was asking me, we were talking about it. I was like, I think it has something to do with the meteor. So it sounds like that's what you think too. I know a lot of people said it was because of the tornadoes that had just ripped through there, and that's probably possible. You know, it destroyed their home, and they're shifting, they're migrating. But I think a lot of it has to do with the meteor.
Yep, there was some weird stuff going on around that time. Still some weird stuff going on around that now. I'm not for 100% sure, but this town, ever since I've moved in it, which has been on 2 years, this is the weirdest place I ever lived in my life. I think I've been told that this town sits on a ley line, but I'm telling you, this place is weird. There's weird things that happen out here at night time. My wife's caught it on camera on her phone twice already. We've had some kind of looked like a rocket, something in the daytime when we was outside in the sky, and it's just strange. I mean, I've lived in haunted houses and stuff like that, but this area, well, I live in one right now. I had to cleanse the house the other day because it scratched my wife, and I run it out, and now she's hearing voices outside, and there's a little patch of woods right in front of our back door, and she keeps hearing voices. I said, "Leave that alone. That's what I run out of here." But
Wow.
it's crazy. This area is, I don't know. Well, the Bigfoot come right here in the backyard, which we'll get into that here with the pictures and stuff. But yeah, I'm Tim Gayheart. I've been researching Bigfoot since 2021 when I had my first full body sighting. And I've had strange things happen all my life out hunting and stuff. And when I was raised in the hills of Kentucky in the eastern part, we had strange things went on there when I was a child. And I don't know what it was, but there was one area on the property where we lived I would not go into. I seen some dark things moving around. I was up there picking berries, blackberries one day, and I seen some strange things moving around behind the blackberry patch. And then from that area on up that hill there, I never would go back into it. But yeah, there's some weird stuff goes on, and most of these pictures that you see, all but I think there's the footprints are here in my backyard. But most of the pictures that you see are took at Salt Fork. Now we had a encounter 3.5 miles up the road from us. Then the area where I used to live by, I had encounters out there when I hunted and stuff. And I sent her a picture of that. But yeah, been into this ever since then. I never had nothing to do with any of it. Never even knew what they were until I was probably in the 8th grade. And a boy brought a book to school. Well, I lived in the hills, Kentucky. TV was one channel, and whatever they showed on that one channel, that's all you got to watch.
Right.
And that would have been in the early 70s and mid 70s at that time. So wasn't too much about Bigfoot. Wasn't no internet. None of all this stuff they got now, technology they got nowadays. So you didn't hear that stuff. But you'd hear the old people say down there, "Well, don't go out there at night. The booger will get you." Or don't go in the woods at night and whistle because you're gonna call in something you don't want to. Yeah, there's rules in the Appalachian Mountains. You don't do things. You keep your windows, your curtains pulled shut in your house at night. You don't go outside at all, and you don't. When somebody knocks on the door and you ain't expecting nobody to be there, you don't answer the door. There's rules that I was raised up with. But
Yeah.
let's get on to some of the encounters and stuff.
I was gonna say, like, my grandmother always, even my parents, they would always tell me, if you go outside, you better be home before the street lights come on, and closing the windows and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to start with your footprints?
Let's start with the pictures of Sally.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm excited for this one.
The ones that were the first ones would be her and her young one sitting there. That would have been the oldest of the pictures I sent you. Yeah, right there. That's Sally. We engaged with her. She has a little one with her looking over top of the leaves right there at you. That's on the right side of her head.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
We engaged with her, and she took us into her family. From the very first time that I seen the one that, I don't know if it was her, the very first full body one, or if one of her little ones was the second one we seen, and then we seen her later that day in the same area. Well, let me just start from the beginning on that. We've joined the Bigfoot group. We've been watching, Not Finding Bigfoot, and a few of these other hilarious shows. And we decided, we joined a group. We seen them on the internet and stuff, on Facebook and stuff. And we joined the group, and they was having a camp out meeting and stuff on a weekend in Salt Fork. This was 2021. It was in early April. I think it was April 13th or 14th. It was for that weekend. And we had time and some money, a little money. Then we went down, got us a room. I always wanted to go to Salt Fork when I was hunting. Never did get to go, but I said, well, let's go. I want to see Salt Fork anyways. So we went down there, and then we found where the camp area was, but we stayed in the motel. We just got to the camp area during the day and most of the night. So then we started driving around in the park looking at things. We went to this area where she's at right there, and it's a dead end road where the lake ended it when they built the lake. And my wife was down at the beach area right down in front of the car. There's like a cove in the beach, sandy area, backwater off the lake. And I'm standing up behind the car smoking a cigarette. And because I always heard it, Salt Fork, the Bigfoot Triangle. There's 3 counties down in that area that they call the Bigfoot Triangle. If you want to see a Bigfoot, that's mainly the areas to go to. So we go down there. I'm standing behind the car smoking a cigarette, watching the hillside. There's 2 ridges in the valley in between, and there's a cave system in the back in the valley. I'm standing there watching this ridge line, watching for things to move. I'm like, well, I might see a deer or something, but then I seen this big black thing, every bit of between 8 to 9 foot tall, step out behind this big old oak tree. And this is about 70 yards, 70 to 80 yards up on the hill. And I watched this thing walk across about 18 foot between trees to a big old beech tree. And I'm standing there and I'm shaking my head. I'm rubbing my eyes. I'm arguing with myself saying, no, you didn't just see that. That ain't no way you seen that. Because I knew it wasn't a man. And I knew we don't have the bear. There's only maybe in that area, I think they say there's only a population of 3 or 4 bears in that county.
Right. Yep.
Ohio don't have very many bears at all. And they're over in the hilly part of the state is where they are at. But I'm like, no, bears don't walk on their legs. It ain't no bear here. And I'm arguing with myself that I've seen this thing. And then I said, well, should I holler for my wife to come up here, or should I go get her? Maybe it'll stay here and she'll get to see it. I knew what it was after I seen it. Yeah, that's a Bigfoot. And so I walked down to the lake where she's down there looking for shells and stuff, tracks, rocks. And I said, I think I just seen a Bigfoot. She goes, where? I said, right there on that hill. She said, you think it's still up there? I said, I don't know. I try to be quiet coming down here, so let's see if it'd stay there and watch. And I said, let's walk back up there. We walked back up there. I stood right in the same place where I smoked a cigarette, and I showed her the tree it come off behind and the tree it went behind. And she said, well, and the way it was moving, it would have been moving up the hill away from me. And she said, well, let's walk down through here and maybe we can find some tracks or might get to see another one walk down to the dead end. So we started down there, and there's a guardrail blocks it there. You have to go out around the guardrail. We go out around the guardrail, and there's this fallen tree. And she said, babe, don't fall over that tree now. Be careful. I walk with a cane because my legs and back don't want to work right. And so I said, all right. I eased across it. We walked down through there, and I seen these paths coming off the hill, animal trails, and I'm looking in these animal trails where there were, looking for any kind of track. I don't see no deer tracks. I don't see no kind of track. It's just wore down, flat, slick. And I said, well, something's coming off the hill. And there was the first one I seen would have been straight up above that one is where I seen it cross between the two trees. So we walk on down, and there's big rocks up on the hill and stuff, big as cars. Some of them are, some of them a little bit bigger. We're walking on down through there on the old blacktop road that they shut down. And I see another one of them trails coming off the hill down the bank. There's like a 6-foot bank, then it goes back up where they cut the road through. And I see another set of trails coming off there, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm looking for deer track and everything. Then I just happens there's a little forked sapling just to my right, and I just got to looking, and then right between the fork in it, I'm like, man, that looks like toe prints. I took my cane and I pushed it over, and I'm looking. Man, that's a footprint. So she was standing there looking up the hill, and I said, "Look here, ain't that a footprint right there?" She gets looking. She says, "Yeah, it's got 5 toes." It was about 9 inches long and about 3 inches wide. She said, "Well, ain't nobody would go barefoot and try to go up that hill. You'd see more tracks than that." Now, there wasn't no more tracks. I couldn't see no more tracks. And that was probably 3 foot up on that 6-foot bank. And we took a picture of it. I'm still standing there looking and watching the hill. And she said, "Well, I'm going to walk on down toward the dead end." I said, "Well, I'll watch as you go down through there in case something moves away from you. I'll get to see it and all." And she went on down. She got probably 75 to 80 feet from me. And I'm looking, watching the hill for movement and stuff. She goes, "Hey, babe. I go, "What?" I turned and looked at her. I said, "What?" She goes, "I see one." I said, "Okay. Where's your phone?" Because that's the only thing we had at the time. We didn't have no cameras, nothing, just our phone, whatever camera was on it. She says, "In my back pocket." I said, "Well, get it out and take pictures." I didn't get a picture of the one I seen. I said, "I'll walk my way to you real slow." And so she took her phone out and started taking pictures of it, which I didn't send you the picture of it because it was a little one, and it's hard to tell really what it is from the cell phone camera. And I get down there where she's at, and this thing's only like 3 foot tall. It was sitting up there right beside of a big beech tree, had its arm like this on the beech tree. And she said, "It was looking at me till I got this phone out, and then it turned its head." I said, "Huh." I said, "That's a little bitty one." It was only about 3 foot tall.
No.
And then we heard like, you know how you pop your tongue?
Mhm.
And that little thing went around the tree just to get me. And I'm like, well, that must be mama telling it better hide. People was watching it better hide. And it went around that tree. And we stand there watching, looking. Never did see it go up the hill behind that tree. And I'm like, well, where'd that little feller go? I said, "You walk on down that way, get you a clear spot to look through the bushes and see if it's sitting right behind that tree." Because it's a big beech tree. It's probably 30, 40 inches around. So she walks on down that way toward the dead end more. She said, "No, I don't see nothing behind that tree." I have no idea where that little thing went to after it went around that tree. I never did see it go up that hill unless it stayed right in line with that tree and stayed out of sight. So we messed around down there for a while. We come back out toward the car, and she said, "Well, let's go over to Bigfoot Ridge. They say that's a hot spot to see one." I said, well, let's go then." So we get in the car and we drive over to Bigfoot Ridge. We go up there, and they have camping areas there, primitive camping areas, but they have restrooms there for each campsite. It's like you can bring your whole family and rent one site, and that's all it's allowed on that site. And it's got like 3 or 4 picnic tables, 3 or 4 fire rings, bathroom for male and female on each site, but they're outhouse porta pots, like bathrooms. And we sat around there and looked around down over the hill, took some pictures and stuff. We kept hearing something down in there breaking branches and stuff, walking around, but never could see none. The bushes was too thick. We stayed around there for probably an hour, hour and a half. Then we come on the way out. She wanted me to take a picture by the Bigfoot Ridge sign. We did that. We're coming out to the main road on the main road in the park. She said, "Let's go back down to Jose." I said, "All right." So we might get to see one. See that? See one of them that you see, and that little one or not one you see. So we're driving down the road, going back to that place, and it just come in my mind. I'm like, Sally's going to come out and show me her hairy boobs. My wife, she's driving. She whips her head. She goes, "Who's Sally? And why is she going to show you her hairy boobs?" I said, "That's the name of the Bigfoot female. She's going to come out and show herself to us." My wife, "Oh, shut up. You're crazy." So we get down there. We go down, park, same place where we parked when we went the first time that day. And that was probably around 11, 12 o'clock during the day. Now it's closer to 3 o'clock. Because we was going to go to the camp meeting and stuff, and that was in the evening, so we was doing our running around before we got to go to the camp out far and stuff. So we're going back down through there. Exactly the way we did the first time. Go out around that guardrail. And I'm walking. She's ahead of me walking. And I come to a dead stop. And I'm going, where did that log go? It was across this road right here. She comes to a dead stop and she turns around and looks back at me. She says, "Yeah, where did that go? We crossed that when we went in and come back out a while ago." I'm looking around and I see 3 big pieces of log laying over here next to the bank. Where the bank where they cut through, where we found the footprint. And I'm like, I walked over to where it was, and it was like in a triangle shape. And I'm looking at it. There's no saw marks. There's no axe marks. Now this is 8 to 10 inches around. This thick.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and it was probably 18 foot long. And long as a 2-lane blacktop road, wide. And I'm looking at this. It's broke. It's broken into 3 pieces, like 5 to 6 foot pieces. And I'm like, you could drive a truck up on that and not break that thing. I'm like, what busted that? It ain't no saw marks, so it wasn't Park come down there to clean it out of the way. And I'm like, man, that just messing with my mind. And I'm like, trying to figure out how this log gets broken 3 pieces, and it's over here next to the bank, which is probably 15 foot from where it was laying before. In 1 piece, it was laying there, and I'm like, I couldn't. It just wasn't sinking in. There ain't no human being breaking that kind of wood, that thick of wood, and it wasn't rotten. I mean, it was dead, but it wasn't rotten. It was. You're talking something to take probably 2,000 or 3,000 pound force to break it. And so I said, all right, we walk on down through here. We go on down through there. And we come to that slide where we found the trail where we found that first footprint. Now I'm standing there looking. Well, something had to come off this hill or somebody had to break that log. And there ain't no human breaking. So I'm looking for tracks. And I'm looking, I see the little one, the 9-inch track we took a picture of the first time we was there that day. And then look just to the right of it. And I'm like, oh my God, look at there. And she goes, what? I said, look at here. And here's a 17-inch track laying right beside of that 9-inch track. I said, now, when you took that picture a while ago, that track was not there. She said, yeah, you can see the 5 toes. It was like 17 inches long, and it was good 8 inches wide at the toes. The heel was probably 4.5 to 5 inches at the heel of it. And it's about 3 foot up on that bank, and that bank's 6 foot up. It's probably a good 30-degree angle on that bank. And I'm like, well, there's footprint where it went back up the hill. Now, where did it come down the hill? I said, the only thing could have broke that log. So we're going down through there, and I'm track hunting from now. Well, I'm done. It's done got me now. I've done seen 2 this day. And now one of them's come down and broke this log out and moved it out of the way because I couldn't get across it good. So we're walking down through there, and I'm a track hunting. We walk all the way down to the dead end. I walked out there around the edge of the water, no tracks. Walked up, there's a trail there. Walked up the trail there at the end, no tracks. And I'm like, it had to come off the hill somewhere. So she said, well, let's go back up the other way. So we go back up there, getting in. Right behind the car, there's a little ditch, a creek or a ditch or whatever you want to call it, comes out from the cave. Comes across the road and under a culvert, across the road. And there's a patch of flat ground between the ditch or creek, whatever you want to call it, and the hill. And the cart had been in there pushing the dirt around. Somebody must have been throwing trash and stuff down there, and they was cleaning it up. I said, let's walk up in here. That thing had to come off that hill somewhere. There got to be a track somewhere where it come off that hill.
Right.
So we're walking up in there in that fresh dirt, and we're looking. I'm walking. The payloader they used, they left ruts in there with the tire tracks. I'm walking on the outside one. She's walking on the other outside one toward the hill. I'm walking on one towards the ditch, and I'm looking, and she goes, babe. I go, what? I turn and look. She's at a dead stop. She goes, I see one. I look at her again. I said, where's your phone? In my back pocket. I said, get it out. Get a picture.
Oh, that sounds
Ain't
like
nobody gonna believe it. Ain't nobody gonna believe this stuff. So she gets it out and starts taking the picture. So I walk over towards her real slow. And she said it's standing straight up the hill, right there, straight up in front of me. And I'm like, well, I can't see it. Too many bushes here. She said, well, she stepped back just a step. She said, now step right there right in front of me and look straight ahead. So I stepped right in front of where she was standing. I looked straight ahead, and there she's standing right beside the tree. You can see from just only one shoulder was behind the tree. She was facing us. And she goes, that's a female. I said, well, I told you Sally was going to come out and show herself. She said, you think I can get closer to get a better picture? Because like I said, all we had was a phone. And then that picture ended up getting stowed.
Oh,
And
Man.
yeah. Hey, we have a question for you. Squatch Topic PA, he wants to know what's the closest you've gotten to one?
less than 7 foot.
Wow.
I was sitting when we get to the pictures, I explain it where it come and touched the truck when I was sitting there, and so we go. That was that side, and so that's 3 now that day. Now she's seen the little one and that female, which is Sally, is her name, is which she told me her name is.
I'm gonna pop that
Now
picture.
I don't. Yeah.
In case anybody that's new that just joined, I'm gonna pop it back up because it's really fascinating. It's a beautiful photo.
Well, you can pop that one up, then pop the one up at her face is where it's cropped and circled.
Okay.
Because some people that's just a dark spot in the woods. Well, if you zoom in, you can tell it's not a dark spot.
So this one's Sally and the baby. You can see the little juvenile, and you can see Sally clear as day standing, and then you can see the juvenile standing. That's an amazing photo. And then this is the one that's cropped in.
Yeah, that's the cropped in. Yep. And the baby is just right to the right of her face, looking up over them leaves there.
Yeah.
You can see his eyebrows on top of his head. And if you look down below her face, you can see her boob.
Yes, you can.
Yep, you can.
That's so funny.
It is.
But I would have reacted the same way your wife did. I'm like, who in the world is Sally, and why is she going to show you her boobies?
Oh
But
yeah, that's the
everyone's
natural
a vet.
instinct of a wife is who's Sally? Yeah, you're gonna get questioned when you start mentioning women's name.
Race King, this is a Bigfoot. This is Bigfoot. This is
Yep,
a Bigfoot and her baby, and her name is Sally.
yep. Now that was in April of 2021, and we've what you say was introduced into the family then. And every time we go down there, we go to that area. We gift her things, we gift her cakes and stuff, and she comes out and shows herself. We've showed her to at least 20 people. The one time there was 5 people there when we showed it. She come out and showed herself to them because we asked her to. Then another time there was, I think, 4 or 6 people in that group. We asked her to come out and show us. Well, Renee was with the group. I was at the camp because I didn't want to interrupt them because I was having issues about walking a lot. And I'd already been up to the camping area and stuff for 2 days almost. My back was really sore, but she took a group down there, well-known investigators, and they got to see her. And we've took first time people has never seen one down there. And as long as we think they're good people, I'll make sure they're good people before I ever decide to take them down there.
Right.
Just because you talk kind don't mean you're a good person. So your intentions means a lot. They don't. They go by what you have in your mind and your heart, and they know they can read you like a book.
Yeah.
And there's some people you can't trust. So if you can't trust them, you don't want to take them try to show them any of them because they don't trust them either. And like I said, we've took see 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 different times we've took people down there, and most of them has never seen one, and they get to see it, and they get to take pictures and videos.
That's awesome. That is really
I found,
awesome.
I found a track there at Hozak.
Yeah. How big was it?
I just sent it to Trish. Hold on. Let me look.
Could you estimate the length and width? I can tell you which one it is.
There's a tape measure right by it. Hold on 1 second. Let me go find it.
Let me see if I can upload it real quick, and I'll bring
It
it.
looks like 13 inches.
That's the juvenile that I got a picture of that it's on here.
This was 2 years ago when I got that. It was,
Yeah.
John Hickenbotham. Is that his name?
Yep, John
Naturalist
Hickenbotham.
up at Salt Fork, yeah.
Yep, know him well. I know a lot of them down there at Salt Fork. Been going there since 21. And Renee and she goes more. Well, she went last year about 4 or 5 trips herself because I wasn't able to go. And camped out each weekend. And she took a few people down there, and I FaceTimed one time last year with Sally down there. Renee used her phone and was talking to me on FaceTime and held her phone up and was videoing Sally while I was talking to her, and she kept going around the tree like this, look and see where I was at. She could hear me, but she could not see me.
Isn't that amazing? I love that. I love stories like that, like the close relationship that you have with Sally. And it looked like you were pretty close to her and her baby, and she wasn't really. I mean, based off what you've told me, it didn't sound like she was really aggressive at all. She just felt comfortable around you.
That picture you just showed where her and her baby, then the cropped in one. That's about that was about 60 to 70 feet.
Yeah, that's not that far away at all.
No.
So that's amazing. This is the footprint that Jen found.
Yep, that would have been her the picture I've got, the one of that's squatting down, that would be his footprint. He's about 6 foot tall, and he's about, well, since we've been going down there 21, he was probably 4 foot then and 21, and he's about 6 foot now,
Wow.
6 to 6.5 foot. She's had 3 babies since then.
Damn.
She had the one in 21 that she had was newborn, and she had one in 23, and she just had one in 25.
Sally's been busy.
Yeah, she has.
Yep.
She's been real busy. Good
Mhm.
job, Sally. Good job. Keep
Get it,
producing.
girl.
Yes, get it, girl. I love the stories about Sally, especially the one with the hairbrush. If you don't mind sharing that, please do, because
Oh, okay.
I talk about it all the time.
Well, we was down there. It would have been May of 22. But before we got there, the night before we was going to leave to go to Saltport, because it was a weekend for the Bigfoot campouts and stuff. It was a group campout we was going to go to. Well, Sally said she wanted a hairbrush. She wanted to make her hair look pretty like my wife's. Well, they don't call them wives; they call them mate. She come to me in my mind and told me she wanted a hairbrush. She wanted her hair to look pretty like my mate. And I told Renee that the next morning when we got up and stuff. She said, "Well, when we get to Cambridge, because that's where we got our motel all the time at." And she said, "We'll go to Walmart and we'll get her a brush and take it to her." So we did that. Go get Walmart. Once we got there, got a room. Went to Walmart, got a brush, got her favorite cakes, and a bag of apples. And we take them down there. We got a gifting tree, and we took them down there. Took the wrapper off the brush and stuff. It was a wood handle brush, soft bristle, brown handle, black bristled. We put it with the cakes and the apples and stuff. We left there and went somewhere for about an hour or two. Went back, there was nothing there. Well, this was in 2024. We was at a Bigfoot camp out. Had the weekend, and there's some well-known YouTubers were there. Nancy from Ohio Bigfoot Stories.
She's so sweet.
And Grizzly, Bigfoot Grizzly was there. Then Icebox was there. They all have their own YouTube channels. And one guy from West Virginia, I'm not going to mention his name because I don't have the right to mention his name. But he's in West Virginia. He's a well-known researcher, well-known. And then there was several other people that there was a lot of well-known researchers there that weekend. And they all wanted to go down and see where Sally was, the area where Sally's at. And so Renee took them, and they went hiking on the trail up there, and they're discussing this now. There's I think 6 in this group besides Renee. And we'd already told them about the hairbrush at the campfire the night before. And they went up to the cave, and they coming back out, and they said they wanted to walk up to the dead end. And Renee and the women are back here, and this guy and his young son, was up in front of them a little bit, probably 30, 40 feet in front of them. Because you know how women are when they're talking. They walk slow. And he starts hollering, "Renee, Renee," and he is shook up. He is overexcited. He's hollering, "Renee, Renee, Renee." And Renee says, "What?" He said, "Come here. You got to see this. You got to see this." So they all got there. He said, what color? When Renee, he said, wait, they got like 5 or 6 foot from him, and it was laying on the ground right in front of him. He goes, what color is that hairbrush that Jens gave Sally? Renee told him it's got a brown handle, it's Goody, and the brand's Goody, and it has black bristles. He said, you ain't gonna believe this. He said it come flying out of the woods and landed right here in front of me on the ground. Renee said, yeah, she's just showing you she's here, that we ain't liars, that we was telling you the truth, that we give her a hairbrush. And he's looking at it on the ground. He says, I'm not going to touch it. You come pick it up. She knows she is. Because he'd never seen her before.
Right.
He just heard the story. So Renee comes over. She reaches down, picks it up, and he said, that has got hair in it. And the handle had little flat teeth marks on it where one of the babies had been chewing on it.
No.
And he goes, man, you got all kinds of DNA there. Renee goes, we don't do that stuff. We're not here to prove it. We know they're real. We ain't here to prove it to you or nobody else or anybody in the country. If you don't believe what we say, we ain't here to prove it to you.
Right.
We don't collect DNA. We do a cast once in a while. We do take pictures. We do tell her encounters. I tell them. She don't get on podcasts very often. He said, okay. He says, she goes, now I want to take this down here and put it where it belongs, where she gets it. And she walked it down and put it to the gifting tree, and they stood up there. And she goes, do you want to see her? She said, I trust Jens, and she'll trust Jens as long as I trust you. But yeah. So she walked them down to the little clear area. She said, Sally, these are my friends, and named them all. So they would like to see you. She just steps around the tree and looks at them. They all couldn't believe it. And only, I think, one or two in the whole group, out of all the people there, I think only two took a picture.
No.
So they
I
don't.
just love Sally stories. Like, that's one of the first stories you told me, and it just blew my mind, and it just had me in awe, because that's just like a sweet thing. And even if you took DNA, you can't trust anybody to test it.
No,
Okay.
can't.
It costs too much too. It costs you $10,000.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't got $10,000.
No, neither do I.
Not for
And
that.
I'm not out to prove it to nobody. Hey, you either believe it from the pictures we get, the encounter stories I tell you, or hey, it's on you. It's not me, but it is fact, the fact of life that you've been lied to, and they are real. And there's many more things out there in the woods that are real that you've
Yes, sir.
been told in folklore and everything else, but everybody tells you it's a lie. There's no such thing. It's just legend. Because I've seen it. I ain't seen them all, but I've seen different things. Dog man.
Oh, yeah. I think you shared a story with me about a dog man when I first met you. But there's so much out there, more than what people realize. Like, now I'm seeing these rakes more frequently than anything, and I'm like, what in the world's going on with all this new dogman activity and these rakes coming out with them? And it's more frequent. It's almost every weekend we go out, we're seeing a rake. And I just want to know what's going on in the area that I'm going into, that they're coming out so much. And they're really scary looking.
Yeah, they're gray colored pale, and they got real sharp teeth and claws, long claws.
Yes, sir, they do.
And they run around like a spider.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they?
They can run around on their all fours like a spider faster than you can run, and then they can't run as fast standing up as they can on all fours.
Yeah, and I've also seen them, and this is weird. I've also seen them so their legs are bent like a spider, like they're crawling like a spider, but the their backside is slithering like a snake.
Yep.
So
Yeah, this is crazy. And they make it like a click, 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 click noise, like
yeah,
sonar hunting for you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's crazy things out there.
yes, sir.
And
There is.
Renee's seen them, and Renee's seen a couple grays, and she's had encounters with the dog man. She has recordings of ghosts on clear audio. I mean, clear is me and you talking, but she don't share it with nobody unless you're real close friends with her.
Right. Yeah,
She don't trust nobody.
I understand that. I'm starting to learn who I can and can't trust, and yeah. So I just keep a lot of stuff that I find to myself now. I don't even post half the stuff that we find. I mean, we'll post like little snippets of new areas like we'll go into, but we won't do too much to give it off. And maybe some structures, but anything really, really significant, I'm not posting it. I'll journal it
Uh,
or I'll share it
yep.
with somebody I can trust, but I'm not posting it.
Don't blame you.
Well, you can show that one picture where the one is sitting in the green, the one juvenile's a little bit bigger, and that's the juvenile's footprint. You got that right there. Now that was in 2000. That was in I think it was June of 2021 when that and got the picture of that. Now he would be about that size of that track that you found at Salt Fork last year.
Oh, okay.
There's only 3 juveniles there. That's probably from that size now because of the babies growing up and then bigger. And then there's Sally and then her mate. And that's it in that one area.
How tall would you say that this child is?
That juvenile there is probably 3 years old.
Look at that. And that is just, you have some of the best photos of
He
them.
does have good pictures.
You can make them out clear as day.
Yeah.
Make it out, guys. Please put your bifocals on because I'm like setting facial features and the head and the body of it. So that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one, like I said, that was about June of 21. The first pictures you showed, that was in April of 21. And we went 5 trips and 21. We went down there 5 times, stayed a weekend each time. We did 3. We did one in April, one in May. No, I'm wrong. We did 2 in April. We did 2 trips. We did one around the 14th and one around the 28th. Then we went down, and it was like right after the Bigfoot conference in May. And then we went down in June. It was too hot in July. It was about the middle of August we went back down. And then we went down in September and October. Because it's almost 3-hour drive from where I live.
You had a couple other pictures of Sally, I believe. Do you want me to pull them as well?
Yeah. Yeah, that was just this in 2020. Let's see. Yeah, 2025. That was let me think now. What would have been September 2025? Yeah, that's Sally. Them pictures was took while I was doing FaceTime with Renee. The lady was with her was taking pictures while me and Renee was doing a FaceTime call. And I was talking to her, and she was kept getting pictures of her as she was moving, trying to see where I was at.
Oh,
The video's on our YouTube channel and on my in the Ohio Bigfoot Researchers. The video of that's all's on there, and that was done while I was FaceTime. We was FaceTiming, and the lady who was with her. That was the first time she got to see Sally.
so you and Sally, or you and your wife and Sally, you guys have a really close relationship.
Yep.
Well, that's good. That's really good. That's it's beautiful. I don't. I just that's why I don't know why a lot of people are scared of them. It's like you be respectful, like you said, good intentions. Be respectful. They're not gonna hurt you. And leave them
Well,
be.
I don't. We don't press it. When you go into their area, we're real in tune with our senses and our sixth sense. When we go into an area like Sally and stuff, we feel what is going on in that area. And if you get the feeling they don't want you there, it's time for you to leave.
Yep.
So we leave. We don't press our luck. We don't push them, and we don't want them to get mad because we've seen one mad.
Right.
Renee got hit with a rock. They don't miss when they want to hit you,
True story.
and that was because she disrespected them and went into one of their nesting areas where they keep their young while they're out hunting, and it's more like the sleeping area too. But they leave their young there, and they scared the young when they went into the area when they found this nest area, and it scared the young, and they went inside of the nest, but the young would already got out of it. They disrespect them because they did not have permission. They didn't ask to go in there. And believe me, the two people that Renee and another person that did it, they both got hurt. The one got his shoulder almost ripped off.
Oh my goodness.
He got knocked about 8 foot in the air.
Oh my goodness.
And then Renee got hit with her. I was with her. We was out here in the area where I got the one picture with the one's face and the vines and stuff.
Yeah.
Where I used to hunt. There's where she got hit with rocks. They throwed 6. And I was walking off and we was getting ready to leave because they was getting pretty aggressive. They started stomping their feet and stuff after they throwed 5 rocks. And I'm like, it's time to leave. And I was trying to calm them down, saying she didn't mean disrespect, but by going into that nest and stuff, but paybacks are paybacks. And
I think that's
I
where
started walking off to go to the car, and just as she started to turn, here come another rock out of the woods and hit her in the leg and left about a silver dollar sized black bruise on her leg.
Ouch.
I'm glad it didn't hit her in the head, because if it would have hit her in the head, she would have it would have been way more serious. But that's where
She would have knocked her out.
it would have. That's where people mess up. And I don't think. Well, I think some of them mean to mess up, but then I think some of them just don't really know. You have to follow your intuition in those moments. If you feel like you're not wanted, that heavy feeling, you need to just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You don't push it. Especially if you're a researcher and you're out there. I get you want to see one, you want to research it, you want to get evidence. That feeling that you need to leave, don't be stupid. Just go. Just leave.
Just go. Yep.
Show respect, and then they might respect you, and show the next time you go out, they might give you some evidence.
Oh, and that's not me calling Renee stupid at all. I'm talking about other people, because Renee knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Well, they was new to doing this and stuff. That this was like 2023. We'd only been doing it for a little over 2 years. We was new to the stuff, and she didn't know that you don't go to do things without permission from them to be doing.
Right. Hey, Squatch Topic says you should tell Sally that you know Lulu and see her reaction.
Know who?
Lulu.
I don't know Lulu. Yeah. He's probably trying to make a joke.
No, he was talking about Lulu the other day. I guess they used to call Bigfoot Lulus. He knows a lot of information. He'd be a good person to talk to. He is very informative on things, just as well as you. But he was
Well,
talking.
I don't know all the native names for them, but I know a couple of the native names for them, like Tonka, which is Big Brother, and then there's I can't think of it right now. It's weird, but it's native tongue.
He said that she's a Lulu. That's their ancient name.
Oh, so I'm not no expert in none of this. I'm just what I know, what I take for seen, and what I take from other people is the truth.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not. I mean, I don't know all the names that, like I said, the native names and all the other names for them. But I do research stuff quite a bit. But I'm not real knowledgeable about a lot of stuff.
So what about this, Allie? Or what about this photo? This one blew my mind. I said my response was, if there was no trees, this is almost a patty picture.
Yeah.
Yep. That one's 3.5 miles up the road from where I live right here, right now. It's called Milan Wildlife Area. The Huron River runs right. We're right behind me from this picture. The Huron River was only like 20 foot. This was walking between us, and there's a small ridge, which is a floodplain, and it was walking Renee and my grandson, which was 5 years old then. This was November of 24, right after Thanksgiving. We went out there. We was taking him out. It's his first time he ever went out researching with us Bigfoot hunting. And him and Renee went on up. There's a trail that the hunters use. Right, goes upside the river, and they use it to fish. So they was ahead of me and my daughter. Which, like I said, I walk on a cane and stuff. I can't walk very fast. I can't walk too much on uneven ground because it tears my back and leg up. And me and her, we're just taking our time walking behind them and stuff, looking and watching. And my daughter and me, we see this tree break and twist. And I'm like, well, here, take my phone, go over and get a picture of that. And it's like 15 foot in front of us. And she took a picture of that, and then she turned. I said, well, take a couple pictures of the woods in front of you now. We didn't even see it. She took the pictures. We got back home. I put them, took them off my phone, put them on the tablet, so it's bigger tablets, so I could zoom in and stuff. And that's what we found in the pictures. While it had been walking right by us, it was trying to come away from around where Renee and the grandson was, and then it's come up on us, and then that was what we got.
Yeah, you can clearly see that it's walking. Like, I mean, look at the leg and the other leg, the gap. So it's got one foot in front of the other, and it's walking. And if anybody ever argued this was a tree, y'all are dumb. You can clearly, it doesn't even match any of the trees in the photo. I love this photo.
You can see the different colors where the sun hitting up towards the top of the head. It's darker, and then like down toward the waist is a darker area. The shoulder and the leg is lit up by the sun.
Capture. Oh my goodness! And like, I kid you not, I jumped up and was like, "Babe, look at this! Look at this!" And he's like, what am I looking at? And I'm like, what are you just look at it. Is it walking? I
Right.
said, I thought so.
You didn't get the one I wanted to send you. I'm going to find it right here and see. I got an album.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's awesome. Yeah, Ray Sting, that is a picture, a really good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Wait just a minute, and I'll show you another one, a bigger one.
Oh man, he's got me excited. I'm like, I'm really hyper today, guys.
Now, if you was here in person to see this picture, it would blow your mind because you can see the skin under the hair, you can see his fingernails and everything.
Oh wow.
Now this one pushed a tree over and give us time to get a camera. This was like 2022. I bought a cheap camera then. Now this is the same area. This is Sally's male mate. I don't know if it's. You see it there?
Oh, I see. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can see it better now that you did that. Is that the
Yeah.
12-foot one?
No, he's about 9 to 10 foot.
Okay.
You see, if you was here and you could see this in person, it would blow your mind.
Maybe
And,
one day I'll get the opportunity to come up there and meet you and your wife, and I'd like to go to Salt Fork sometime. Jen speaks a lot.
See, I have different pictures of this little one. We moved in different areas. Here's one, a black-faced older juvenile looking between the crotch of a tree. I don't know if you can see it or not.
In between the two trees?
Yeah, no, there's one big tree and it's the fort, which was about 9 foot to the fort. And it's standing there looking through the fork at me. Like I said, I got pictures. All kinds of pictures.
Big old album.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard copies. That we don't have hard copies of every picture we got. We got pictures on here, got pictures on our phones, on the tablet.
Do you keep like multiple copies and like on different devices?
Yep.
Yep. Me too.
Because the one phone that she had, well, we got the picture that got stolen from somebody at one of the camp outs. That's why you don't you let people look at your pictures this reading. We put them in a picture album so they can't just hand them like this loose. We see them getting them out. Well, we handed somebody down there and they was loose, and we had the picture of her standing by the tree. I mean, there wouldn't have been no other better picture in nowhere I know of. And it ended up disappearing, and her phone ended up he deleted everything on it, completely wiped.
Oh,
Like 3 weeks after that.
Racine was wanting to know if you had any pictures of Dogman.
No, not yet. No. Now, in the one picture, the one guy says there's a dog man in it, but I was trying to get the picture of the Bigfoot standing there, so I don't have no idea if there was a dog man to my left, to my right, or what. But he said it was to the right side of the picture. Looks like a face of a dog man. I don't know. I've heard of stories around this area that dog man's been seen, but for them to be a Bigfoot and a dog man within 10 or 12 foot of one another, I don't know. I have no clue. Like I said, I don't pick out things in the picture and say, well, this is what it is, or this is what it is. Because if I didn't see it, when I was trying to get the picture, I usually don't even acknowledge it
Right.
because I don't chase pareidolia.
Right. I get that.
That's like the picture right there. The one is in Milan.
Hmm.
Now that's not pareidolia. That's not fake. That's not. I mean, I didn't see it moving, but just a matter of 30, 40 minutes after we took the pictures, I was looking at them. So it ain't like you can't clearly see what's in the picture.
Oh no,
Now, if
you
it's
can.
something iffy looking, I don't do that. But most of the pictures we take, we're looking right at them. We know they're there.
Like with the dog man encounter of mine, that wasn't paranormal. Breathing and eye contact with it. I was
Huh?
over here, I was recording. So I looking and it cut it, but I'm looking at it as my phone's over here. So that wasn't pareidolia. And that wasn't a
Yeah.
lie either. So I know what I saw that night, and that was crazy. That really messed me up, Tim. That messed me up for a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but he's got
Yeah,
some.
I got a few friends that's run into Dogman, and they're scarred for life. I mean, they still have, when they even talking about it, they're shaking and they're really nervous.
Yeah, yeah, I get.
Now, the other pictures that the ones to answer the first question we had, how close we were. Show them the picture of the truck.
Okay, so let's see. You have
How,
to. If I'm gonna show him this one first, then I'll just go down the line.
Now this is a Ford F-150 crew cab, 2023, I think it was. This was in 2024, August the 26th. Me and another researcher was sitting on the tailgate of that truck, and it has a 6.5 foot bed. It had a Tahoe cover on it. This is the back passenger door, which was the side I was sitting on the tailgate. She was on the driver's side of the tailgate. There was 16 other people down in the woods going down a trail. There was 18 of us doing research that night at Salt Fork. But this is a total different area than where we got the pictures of the ones. That's the part of his palm, and then this part of your hand.
Just look at the
The
ridge.
other one is a fingerprint. Yeah, you see all them dermal ridges?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
A friend of mine took them to a fingerprint expert at the police station for the local area. His was for the county, and he looked at these pictures. I have them on the prints on a piece of double-sided tape, all of them. We lifted them off there like you would have, because the guy took these pictures. He's a cop. He was a cop. He's a retired cop, and he worked for the Bureau of Internal Investigations. And he took these pictures and showed them to his friend there, that is their fingerprint expert. And he said, they're so close to a human print, but they're not human. And he said, they're not primate. They're not an ape or a gorilla. He said, you can rule out human, and you can rule out apes and gorillas because they don't mess. The humans, you have like swirls. These are a little bit wiggly lines. Gorillas and apes are totally different.
That's amazing. The
I was
rigid.
sitting on the tailgate, so I was only like 7.5 foot. I pulled my weapon. That's how close it was.
Did
And
it?
the researcher that was sitting beside me, she goes, you got a gun? I said, yeah. Because we sitting in the total dark. No, we didn't have no lights. None whatsoever. Just whatever ambient light from the moon. And the people down in the woods, all the 16 people was down there, they done a call, which I don't do that, but you can't control everybody. So
Yeah.
they did a call. We're on top of a hill in a parking area in Salt Fork it's a wildlife area. They do this call. I hear this dog over my left shoulder down in the valley, house dog, sound like a hound. It barked 3 times. Well, after that dog barked 3 times, then there was something that uh, made a crazy noise 3 times. Then it was probably 5 to 10 minutes, no longer. I hear this thing in the bushes over here next to me, on this side, on my left side. Then I hear something up in front of the truck crossing the gravel road into a CRP field, which is just growed up weeds. And I'm hearing this thing come across the gravel road, go into this weed field, and you can hear the weeds as it's walking. You hear the weeds go shoo, shoo, shoo. And it's coming around to my right side, which that's the side she's sitting on. And I'm going like this with my elbow, pointing that way for her to listen. She said, yeah, there's something moving there. I said, listen, watch, listen. And then I hear this one over here. And just as I turned around, because I heard something come out of the bush, we're only like 6 foot from the bushes, the woods. And I turn around, and here it is on all fours. And then it stands up. Then I reached and got my gun because I carry it in a shoulder holster, unstacked it, pulled it out, and wrenched around in the chamber. And it was standing up by that time, right beside the door. And when I did that wrench round in the chamber, it went back down and went back in. So I just slid it back into my holster. And that's when she asked me, you got a gun? I'm like, yeah. You don't come out here at night without a gun. You don't know what kind of people you're going to run into. And
Right.
I didn't tell her it was standing right there. I was trying to keep her attention on this one over here. There was one on each side of us here. And I'm like, and then after this one left, this one comes on down, and then it comes back across the gravel road, comes right in front of the truck in the wood line, going to the people that made the call. And there was 4 or 5 women standing in a bunch. They were standing in different little bunches, and it growled at the first ones. And that's when they started hollering for the guys down in the woods with them. They had weapons. They all run to them. What's going on? What's going on? Something growled at us right there, and we seen eyes. Then that's when they come out of the woods. But I didn't tell nobody that this one was here. The one, when it went through after it crossed the gravel road, she could hear it when it come back into the woods in front of the truck. She could hear it. You could hear it when it was walking. You could hear it. Thud, thud, thud. That's now it's about the sign of the footprints. About that sound each time it's stepped. So it's making a good 5 foot to 6 foot stride. And she said, I hear it going right there. It's going right there. And I said, yeah, it's going right to him. They ain't run a mile there. When it growled at them women, after they got all the men up there, they around that little group, they all come out. No, it's getting too dangerous. They're too close. I'm like, well, no closer to the one right behind me. And,
Yeah, that one real close.
and the next morning we get up, and I didn't even know it touched the truck. we had to drive down gravel roads and go back and drop off the researchers that we hauled up with us up to the areas. And it's all gravel road to almost to the camp. And we drove all these gravel roads back, dropped them off, went to the motel room. I get up the next morning to go out and get something out of the truck to drink and to smoke a cigarette because you can't smoke here in Ohio in the rooms. So I go out and I'm walking up down the side of the truck to get ready to open the door to get a drink out. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, that thing touched the door last night when it was here, when it was standing beside the truck. And I went back to the motel room door and I said, Renee, you come out here, baby. You got to look at this. She come out there. She says, well, there was handprints and fingerprints. I said, she goes, when did that happen? I said, last night when it was standing beside the door last night. She said, I didn't even tell her because I didn't want to make a big deal of it. And I'm like, she said, we need to get these fingerprints and let people see them, get them off this truck somehow. So we get dressed and get ready, go to the camp, get out there in the camp, and just so happened one of the people there, the researcher that was sitting on the tailgate of the truck, she had double-sided tape that she used to collect hair samples and stuff with. And her and the ex cop, they's one put it on there and lifted it and took the pictures of it and stuff.
Cool.
And then that's when I told her the whole thing that was going on. I said, you remember last night when I pulled my gun out, wrenched round in the chamber, and you asked me, do you got a gun? I said, yeah. I said, it was standing right there beside that door when I did that. She said, why didn't you tell me? I said, I couldn't have you make a reaction and it that close. And it might not have been a good reaction from it. I said, I don't want to have to shoot one of these if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I said, I was trying to deal with the situation to keep you safe without, hey, she's never been that close. She's seen one or two, but they've been like 75 to 100 yards away. Right. What are you going to do when you look at one that's 7 foot from you? I didn't need no reaction because I once didn't knew that I had that pistol, that weapon. It decided, well, I need to back up.
Yeah. 7 foot. That is wild. I'm gonna show those photos again.
Well, 6.5. That's the back door, and it's a 6.5 foot bed, and you let the tailgate down. And I was sitting on the tailgate, so it's around between 7 and 8 foot.
Look at those thermal ridges. That's amazing. You know, I've gotten prints on my truck a couple of times. Actually, the last one I got, I don't even think I have a photo of it on here, or I would show you. But it was small. It was like 5.5 inches long, like 3 inches wide, and it only had 4 toes. But the first toe and the second toe, there was a 1/2 inch gap in it, and you could see the ridges in it as well. And it was on my windshield of my truck.
Yeah, that was a juvenile, and there is some out there that they're 4-toed. There's some out there that's 3-toed. There's some out there 6-toed.
This might be it.
But
yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah.
See how it's missing the one toe? It's missing like a toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's found those on her truck twice.
It could have either got some cut off, or it could have been born with only 4 toes.
That's what I was thinking. I've had people tell me that a Bigfoot print. It's only got 4 toes, 5 to 6, and I'm like, why can't that 4? What if they're born, or what if they got injured and lost a toe?
Right.
Well, the Nephilim, the giants back in the biblical time, They had double rows of teeth. They had 6 fingers, 6 toes. Some of them had 7 toes, some 7 fingers. And they're the ones the Bigfoot would always try to stay away from. The Bigfoot are a total different species than the giants. The Bigfoot's been here longer than the giants were. The Bigfoot is the Native Americans. They had relationships with the Bigfoot, and they that's the reason when you see a Bigfoot, that's the reason they go like this. You hold your hand up like this at a Bigfoot. So it knows you are close to its bloodline. You are human. You're not a Niflin. You're not a crossbreed.
Take a second and just say hi
And
to
there's
TikTok family.
And that's the reason, like Ernie Devereaux, he said that the Bigfoot kept pointing at his hand and pointing at him, pointing at his hand, pointing at him. He was trying to show him we're almost the same.
Yeah.
You ever heard his encounter? Well, that's why he was doing that. That's the reason the Indians always go like this. When they meet somebody, they go like this. Even with the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, to see Tonkas, you go, and they know that means you're a friend. You're high. You're a friend. You're human. You're not a crossbreed.
I didn't know that. I just learned something new. Thank you. That was.
Yeah.
So you think?
And you talk to them just like you're talking to me. I mean, they understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you want to have interaction with them, you don't try to manipulate them, and you don't try to like people talk to babies and stuff. No, you talk normal. You don't scream, and you definitely don't want to show anger.
Right.
Because you're messing with the wrong thing to show anger.
So you think that there's Bigfoot, and then we also have the Nephilim, the giant.
Yep.
Do we have? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people exactly what you just. So that's it. To kind of read more into it, because I think that they could be the spirits of the Nephilims. I don't know. I like hearing all the things about.
They're spiritual. They can be spiritual beings and flesh and blood beings. Now, I mean, they walk, like the natives say, they walk between two worlds. They walk between the spiritual world and the real flesh and blood world.
Right.
That's the reason they can do more things than, well, we used to be able to do the same thing, but we've just been dumbed down over the years. They're half the stuff, I'm going to say more than half, 80% of the stuff that you've been taught since you was a kid is to indoctrinize you, to control you. The real truth they hide. There is millions of Hicks, scrolls, of stuff that's been hidden and been destroyed from ancient times of, like the city of Atlantis and all this, that the Greek mythology and all that. That's all true. There's descendants from aliens or anotherworldly beings. Well, they're not aliens. They was here when it was created. You can't leave this hemisphere unless you're spiritual and know or can travel in between dimensions. You're in a dimension. You're not on a globe. There's a difference in reality. You're in one reality, and there's many different realities.
Right. I think we have a couple more photos that we can we need to share. Oh, I forgot which footprints.
Yeah, that was right here in the backyard, right here, right out my back door. Well, I got a sliding glass door now. It used to be a back door since they remodeled. But that was right here within 5 foot of my back door, right here in the yard. That would have been let's see, we moved here in 2024 in October, September. That would have been October or November, right before it snowed. Which the Huron River is only like 1,500 yards west of where I'm sitting at right now, and it runs from Lake Erie to about 40 miles south. But Huron River runs north. It don't run south. It runs north. It starts in the south and comes north to the lake.
Squatch Topic wants to know: are you learning bear claw?
Huh?
Squatch Topic, he wants to know if you are learning from bear claw.
I don't know.
That's a good print.
But I know ever since I was a child, even before I knew what a Bigfoot was, before I ever even seen a picture of one or even heard of what one was, that I used to have dreams of them chasing me. And I never knew any kind of book or TV or anything. I never seen one, and I was always, as I got older and once I started doing this and stuff, and I'm like, why did I dream of these things before I even knew what they were?
That's weird.
You were connected at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when I was probably 9, that was right here. That's the mulch right here beside the house, right beside the apartment. That one is around 19 inches.
All three of these prints are from your property, by your house.
From where I live, yeah. Right
Did
out
they
here,
ever come up and like slap the side of your house?
They slapped the house, yeah. They've slapped it right here by my bedroom wall. I've had orbs come right in the house. And then after the orbs, I see the orbs and they leave, go through the wall, then something would slap the wall. Yeah, that's the same print, but that's just a different angle on it so you can see the toes. But that's right here in the mulch and right by my back sliding glass door, where they put mulch around the building to keep the weeds down.
So they're kind of close to your house, real close.
Yeah, my wife's got a picture of where one was tore a neighbor's wood fence here. There's a chain link fence, then right behind it's a wood fence, and there's trees and stuff that growed right in there. And one night she was out there smoking, and something ripped one of them wood fence panels back, and was standing there. You can see there's a pole light and stuff right here, and the light was shining. You could see the whole shadow of it on that panel as it's hunkered down, trying to look at her through the fence. Oh yeah, there used to be like a 5 to 6 acre woods that went this way, north and south, just to the west here, right at that end of the property line. And they cut it all down last year. They're not as coming up here anymore because that went and connected the way the route would have. It connected over to the woods that connects to the river. So they had a way they could get up here hidden. Now they don't.
And then we have one more photo. Let me see if I can see it. My eyes are so bad right now. I think this is it. This
Yeah,
is
that is the hunting area. This is a younger male. I hunted that area for over 30 years. I knew they was out there. And but I tried to keep it out of my mind so I could hunt because I hunted it day and night. And I didn't want that in my mind when I was hunting at night. And but right straight behind that sign, you can see its head right there, its whole face.
yep.
But somewhere's over here to the left, I mean to my right of that sign over in this area, somebody said they seen uh, something that looked like a dog man in some of the pictures that I took of it. I was standing just behind that sign and took that picture. That was like 25 to 28 feet.
Yeah, I can make out the facial features on it, but I do see where somebody would say it looked like a dog man because I can see ears, the snout, and the eyes, and up in the tree.
Well, that's what they said before when I showed it to them, that showed them that picture and stuff. Didn't you see that dog, man? It was right there looking right at you. I'm like, no, I was focused on getting the picture of the one that I could see standing there, the Bigfoot.
Right,
Because it
you
was
ain't focusing
getting,
on what the Bigfoot.
because you was it was getting dusky dark, and I didn't even know if I took it with my cell phone because I know my other cameras wouldn't. They don't take it and once it starts getting dusky dark, the ISO don't go up high enough. And I lightened this picture just a little bit. The original picture is a little dark because it was getting dark. Now that's the only thing that's been done to this picture is I brightened the contrast on it
Right. You
so you
guys
could
see me
see
going
the.
like this with the computer? It's because like I'm really scoping out this because it does look like a dog man up in the tree, but like right across from the Bigfoot, you can see the Bigfoot standing behind the sign. Then if you come over to the right, I can see two ears and make out like an eye and snout. I can't even talk. Snout and then another ear, and it looks like it's up in the tree. So I'm kind of like leaning forward, like I'm not the crazy lady. I'm just trying to really look at the photo. I can't zoom in on it, but I can see the facial features of the Bigfoot clear as day. But that does look like a
Yeah.
dog man up in that tree.
Well, like I said, I was focused on getting a picture of him. I wasn't. I didn't know if there was anything on this side when I started taking the pictures. But I seen him standing there. I was looking him dead face to face, and I'm like, that's what I was focused on to get that picture of him.
Yeah,
But there's been dog men that right here in right here in town, city limits, last fall. Is out here at the city reservoir. They have a walking trail and stuff. And there was this was told to my manager from the guy it happened to. And, he was walking his dog in the afternoon out there, and his dog come to a dead stop and wouldn't go on, had it on a leash, and the dog was like it froze. And he was trying to figure out what's this dog looking at, and then something fell out of the tree, liquid substance fell and hit him on the arm. He looks up and there's a dog man in the tree right above him, and it was slobber. It hit his arm.
Ew.
oh,
He grabbed his dog up in his arms and took off to his back down the trail and back to his car. He said, "Man, he's never been back out there again to walk his dog out there." He said, "I'll walk my dog on the sidewalk."
I don't blame him. Those things are a whole other level.
yeah. I just took a report the other day that happened on the 23rd of May. A lady, my rent-a-center lady, and her husband, they were out in the LBL. I won't say where. They were on a road, and I believe it was dark. And she looked, and she said that she saw a bipedal creature stand up. It had a yellow eye shine, and it looked right at her and her husband, and then crouched down and took off.
You can believe that story's true because I've
Mhm.
seen their eye shine. Yeah, it's yellow, gold, neon color. Seen 4 sets one night. They was trying to surround us.
They do that.
That's what happened to us back in May 3rd. We were surrounded, and it wasn't. Well, I believe there was some Bigfoot there. I believe some of the audio we got, it sounds like a male Bigfoot and a female Bigfoot communicating.
Yep.
And but we were surrounded by rakes, and when we set up at night, we set up in a diamond. These creatures diamond us back, and they were pushing us from the back. And when we said, okay, we need to leave, Andy walks out first, and he sees a dog man standing about 10 yards from the driver's side door of my truck. And he hit his button on his truck, thinking it would spook it off. And this thing is so intelligent, it knew what he was doing, that it made it look like it ran off, but he come around a tree and crouched down to where we couldn't see it. So all these creatures are really smart. They're smarter than what we even realize.
Exactly.
That's not a scary thing. Sometimes it's a scary thing.
They move as a troop, the dog man and the Bigfoot, just like a military troop. They move just like that. And that's how they hunt. That's how they gather food and everything. They move as a troop, as a group.
They do.
You see one, there's more than one. You'll never see them all. You might hear one here over here or hear one over there, but if one shows yourself, that's most of the time that's a distraction for them to move around you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I have a picture from that night. The one that I saw. Let me see if this is it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's some creepy looking things.
Yes, sir, it is. Let me make sure. I don't know if I got all of your photos or not. Let me take a look. I know we did your prints on the truck and behind your house, and Sally. I love Sally. Like that, I just love that story. You should write a book just about Sally.
I'd never be able to write a book. I can't spell that great.
Oh, I don't. Oh, we showed this one.
Yeah, that's for her, the little one.
Did we?
That's the juvenile that should be the track she's got.
Yes. So we got them all. I'm telling you, like, I think have your wife to write a book about Sally, because I love Sally stories. So make sure you keep us posted on any new like stories you have with her. Because when you told me that thing, that was so. It just blew my mind. I would love to. I want to try gifting, but I don't have like a close relationship with one here in the LBO like you do in Salt Fork with Sally, and that's something that I'm working on, because I do know that there's one in there that seems to be protective over me. It protected me the night of the Dogman encounter. It told me to go get out of there. I heard it mind speak to me, go get out of here, go get out of here. And we left. So, and I've seen it several times. I know it's the same one. I'm working on building a more trust with it, so we can have that, tight relationship, and maybe it's a male.
Was it a male's voice or was it a female voice in your head?
It was a male.
And then he's the alpha of that area, of that clan.
Yeah.
It's either the alpha male or an alpha female that has to accept you into the clan. No other ones will be able to do it.
He
And
may.
when their mind's speaking to you, they're the alpha.
Well, that's good to know. That's really good to know. Because, like I said, he protected me. He told me, "Go
Yep.
get out of here. Go get out of here." And it wasn't like a aggressive voice or anything. It was more like a concerning male voice, like, "Hey, go get out of here. Go get out of here." Um, and like I walk in there, and last time I went in that area, I thanked him, like, wherever you are, like, thank you. I really appreciate you looking out for me. So I just want to, I'm working on building that trustworthy relationship with them and let them know that they are safe with me. And I don't take
If you're
anybody in that area unless it's my team.
you yeah, if you're a kind-hearted person and stuff, they know it. They will try to protect you. Because there are some people saying dog man's not aggressive. They're not going to do anything. Well, they're more aggressive than most of you Bigfoot.
I agree.
They're not to be trusted as much. You don't want to trust one of them because they have very nasty intentions. They a lot of them you're food if they catch you in the right predicament.
Right.
See, they all these cryptids they know that human and it gets known that they took it. There's repercussions for this. So these most of these 411 missing people and stuff, some of them are from these cryptids. A lot of them are from what they call aliens, but they're not aliens. They're still right here on they have their bases underground and in the water. They've been uh, the government made a contract with them for their technology that they're allowed to take so many humans and use for test purposes. That was put in the 1940s and 50s. It's called Blue Book Project. That was signed in by Roosevelt.
Yep.
They made the agreement after they found the wrecked spaceship out in Arizona. Area 51 and all that's made up for that. Well, government does a lot of stuff. They got underground bases. They do, and I've had people that drove vehicles that hauled these things that he's been in the underground bases, seen their genetic testing, and all this other stuff. They've tried to intermix humans with different animals, fish, reptiles, and all this other stuff. He's seen all this. Then the biological war chemicals and like the COVID virus that was released in China. All this is going on by all these governments, all of it, and
Don't get
plus
me on the
all the
government.
hidden knowledge. So all we are, if you remember during the so-called pandemic, they always kept saying we need to get the herd vaccinated. You are cattle, working cattle. That's all we are.
Squatch topic, are you listening to this? Are you still here?
I think he went to eat.
I think you did too.
Yeah, listen, the people don't want to really know the truth of reality. Reality is that's the reason you got a number. They tag cows, they tag animals. you was tagged when you got your social security number,
Yeah.
your driver license number. You are a number to a herd.
Mhm.
Yeah. People
Is
don't
there a
want
way
to hear
to
the
erase my
truth.
serial number? I just want my serial number erased. Well, like when you're buying a pew pew, a lot of people buy like black market pew pews. Yeah, can I
Yeah.
just have my serial number? Can I be a black market human being? I don't want a serial number.
You can change your identity and not have a social security number, but then you can't draw. If you work, you won't be able to draw your social security. You don't have no kind of health benefits when you get to the age of retirement unless you got money to pay for all this. They got you in a little square.
Yep.
Yep. When
You go to
we're
work,
approaching,
be a good little person. Go to work, be a good person, pay your taxes. Don't go, shh, don't tell nobody nothing that they don't need to know. Shh.
Basically.
yeah, I feel that. Well, we're approaching 2 hours now. Do you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, how they can get in contact with you?
The Ohio Bigfoot researchers on Facebook, and if you want to be participate in the YouTube channel, it's Ohio Bigfoot researchers on YouTube. And if you come to join the group, it is please answer the questions, or you will not become a member. And there is no harassing, bullying, or any rude comments made in the group, or you will be removed. We don't tolerate none of that. And if you got truth to bring, or you got something to share, or you want to come and see what's being shared, or enjoy to being in a group, come and join. But remember to answer the questions.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you coming on. It was so short notice. It's been great. I love talking to you on TikTok. Again, I love the Sally story. That got me hooked. And I went on, guys. There's some really amazing stuff on his YouTube and his Facebook. Go check it out. Get subscribe to him. Follow him on Facebook. He has a TikTok. Follow him on TikTok. I think I have all the
It's Tim
links in the
Gayheart. Tim Gayheart on TikTok, or if you don't want to, I'm Tim Gayheart on Facebook too.
definitely check him out. I'm able to meet you. Though, so maybe next year.
Yeah, it's fine.
My schedule next year are filled. Like we're wanting to go to Washington State next year, and then we're going to Louisiana, and then we're going to Ruidoso, New Mexico. So next year is already filling up for me. Uh, but Tim, I'm going to go ahead and take you out, and I'm going to
Busy,
go
busy.
wrap up the show. And
Yeah,
again,
thank you for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure. And if you ever wanted me back on, just let me know.
oh,
Thank
we
you,
will.
Tim.
I want more
Yep.
Sally. I want more Sally updates. So as soon as you get,
All right.
I'll bring you back on because I love Sally. I ain't even met her, and I love
Yeah.
Sally. So, but thank you, Tim. I'm gonna go ahead and take you out. Wow, that was a good show. Good photos. Those some of those photos
Right.
really mind.
I like the one he caught walking.
The one, yeah, the one walking. That just
That's really
amazed
cool.
me. All right, guys. So at the beginning of the show, I was talking a little bit about a little girl, 11-year-old, named Lily Beth. Lily Beth has a pretty serious medical condition that is attacking her organs. She has been dealing with a lot of health issues since she was 2 years old. She began passing out when she was 5 years old, and the doctors couldn't pinpoint why. So life kind of moved on, and last year, her joints became. She started having more frequent like passing out episodes, and her joints became severe and widespread. And I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I know this little girl personally, and I know the family personally, and it's sad what they're going through. They need a lot. But this is causing her to have glucose issues, but diagnosing her as diabetic, her syncopes flaring up. She constantly has to receive IV fluids and electrolytes. She has an adrenaline insufficiency, multiple hormone insufficiencies. She's really going through it. I was talking to the mother today, and the mother was sharing with me that she can't even go outside for more than like a minute without needing her wheelchair because of passing out. And I saw that they were asking to find a group that would help build a wheelchair ramp for the little girl. And it's been weighing on me very heavy. And so I reached out to the mom today, and I asked her if we could kind of, or if not kind of, if we could promote her Cash App and her Venmo and her story to help get her some help. Guys, if you can donate anything to this family or just share it, I'm going to post it on all of our social medias. I'm going to ask if Creepy Culture would mind doing so as well. If you can't donate, at least please share it. Because this family and this little girl are really going through it. They have to travel several times a week to Cincinnati, to Huntington, West Virginia, to Charleston, West Virginia, and now they're going to have to be traveling to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for medical treatment to see how she can be treated, what they can do to help. There's a lot of testing that goes along with this, and this poor girl can't even have a normal childhood because of her medical conditions. And also the family, the little girl's grandmother just had a stroke. She just got out of the hospital. So the mom is really, really overwhelmed with everything. She, having to take care of her child and then another child and then her mother. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of heartache. It's just a lot on the mom. So if you can, please donate, or at least please share it. It takes 1 second just to hit the share button once it gets posted. And I get times are hard for everybody right now, but anything can help. Anything can help. And CJ, Cassie, Carla, Christina, and even Lily Beth, if you're watching this, it's all going to be okay. We are all saying prayers for you guys, and we're going to do our very best to help you with anything and everything that you need.
Yep, and we'll get those posted on our social medias. So I'll do that after this.
It's really sad, and like I was saying earlier, this is such a beautiful little girl. It's a beautiful family. My son had a crush on Lily Beth in kindergarten. They were kind of close in school up until we moved. I've always been close with the family up until I moved, and we kind of life happened. But I will always be there for the Sweeney family. I love you guys. I love you all. And just know that it is going to be okay. And there are people out there that are willing to come forth and help out with situations like this. Jen, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'll just thanks to Tim for coming on and sharing his encounters and stuff. And we will get those on our social media so everybody can donate or at least share so other people can help. So I'll do that after this.
I'm going to post it as soon as I get off. I'll make a post about it on our Facebook and TikTok and our YouTube and Instagram. But if you don't have anything else, I guess we'll see you guys next Tuesday. If there's anybody that has had an encounter that they would like to share with us, please reach out to us. You can email us at monsters.unleashed creepyculture25@gmail.com. Or, Jen, what's yours?
Creepyculture@yahoo.com.
What she said. Or you can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Facebook. My name's Trisha Collins. You can look me up. You can add me. But if you have an encounter and you want to come on the show and not be judged and not be ridiculed and not be dismissed, we are here to help you. We are here to listen. We've all seen some pretty weird things and we've all been called crazy, but we're not crazy and we're definitely not alone. So with that being said, we love each and every one of you, and until next week, this is Cryptid Awakenings.